Hey, Dan, thanks for coming on. This is David Bruce with Being Before the Veil, where we're interviewing everyone that has shared pre-birth experiences on beingbeforetheveil.com. So this is really awesome. This is my friend Dan Lucas. He shared on the project. I met him on TikTok. He does a lot of awesome stuff in his community, and he's definitely helped me on my spiritual experience. So I asked him if he would come on and be my first interview. Thank you, Dan, for coming on.
Dude, thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate you, man. I really think what you're doing, and just this whole sharing pre-birth experience, bringing this up to, just bringing this up to everybody, helping people like explore this within themselves is such a powerful thing.
It really is. It's so powerful for me. It's helped my life so much. And that's really that drives me to do this. So if you would, my pre-birth experiences, I have them, and I remember existing before this life. And my pre-birth experiences are pretty basic. I remember existing in this white expanse and going through this choosing process, choosing my parents, and being able to actually see and communicate so much data with this other being I was with. It just astronomical. Like, I could see what my body might look like depending on how I lived and treated it. And that's one thing I always remember about my pre-birth experiences, and was what helps me, especially get through all this dark side of the experience I've been going through, is that I chose this. So whatever I do is going to be my result, right, in my experience. So that really helps me. And if you would just, start off explaining your pre-birth experiences from the beginning or end, or wherever you feel like you best.
Hey, for sure, man. And one thing, like, I know your pre-birth experience, and mine is a little different, but I think it's kind of important that, like, we all have a unique individual experience, even though there's similarities. It's, I guess for everybody out there, there's not really one way, I think, right, to have a pre-birth experience. It's all kind of like one of those things where even like this life is very unique for each of us. And the pre-birth experience is also a unique thing that we experience with all this stuff that is, right. So
that's very important that you said that, actually, Dan, because I think it's really important that everybody that comes on here and shares knows our stories and experiences don't need to align. Actually, sort of what I'm looking for is people's unique experiences. So I'm glad you said that, because I think it's important that we're truthful about our experiences, and we don't try to align our experiences too much just because of that. You know what I mean? So that's a great point.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they are there's so much uniqueness that I've found thus far running this project. It's been amazing. And that's the whole cool thing about it, I think.
Yeah, me too. It's almost like one of those things where it's a paradox in a way, where it's like everybody thinks it's always like a certain way. And yet, we can see through our lives, there are a lot of similarities between all of our lives, but it's also a very unique experience, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess my experience starts. It starts actually a little bit after the actual pre-birth, in that kind of in between place experience, because I have these memories of being in the womb, right? And it was I could literally see around myself, and I know like, eyes aren't developed for most of the time when you're in utero or whatever. But I remember being there. I remember being in this, it was like kind of like floating around in this, like, body temperature, and seeing around me my environment, and like seeing, it was like almost like surrounded by this amber glow, where I would it was like the spider web of veins, almost like seeing that through the membrane, through the womb and the belly and stuff like that, right? And so I think a lot of, I think a lot of why I have a lot these memories is because I was adopted, right? And it was something where I was taken away from my birth mother, right? And it was an act of me remembering these things, of holding on a little bit. I think that was like a
Yeah.
lit I had for remembering this stuff. Um, so to get into the more pre-birth experience, I think that's why I remember this, like why I held on. So I have a memory before that, you know and for me it was almost like I was in a cave. It was weird. It was like I was in a cave, but it was almost like this universe thing too, where it was like I almost feel like I could see like stars, like I was in a cave, but I could see like the universe through the cave or something. And I was with this being that was everything. It was like this being, like you could say God for lack of a better word or whatever, but it was like this infinite being that was infinite all, right? And that being was me. And in that place, like I was also that being. Like I was also like in that, I was also that infinite everything. But I was yet still I was myself. you know
Yeah.
and we were standing there, kind of what feels like standing in a way, before it was like this pool of water in front of me, right? And this being was like, hey, look at this. Look at this. And I looked down, and I saw this whole life. Like I saw every single thing, literally. Like a lot of it doesn't come to my memory, but I know this is how it was, where I saw every single thing that was in my life that was going to happen. And he was like, what do you think about this? It was almost like off. It was like, hey, I've looked at the possibilities. What do you think about this? And I just remember being like, yes, like that's it. Like that's the perfect life. Like this is the life that I need to live for me, and for as our synchronistic kind of connection, interaction with every other being. It's like, yes, this life needs to be lived. For um all these infinite reasons. It's part of this, right? And I remember like choosing this life, right, with this infinite being, and it was almost like I was like, yes. And it was like that feeling of like when you're like laughing and crying, that like amazed, like in awe feeling. And then it was kind of like almost like we just like hugged each other. We were like, we're like, yes, this is amazing. Love you, kind of thing. and
Yeah.
uh and then my next experience was being in the womb.
Oh,
Those
okay.
memories
Yeah.
of being
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the womb.
Yeah. That's amazing. And a couple of things you're talking about, there's no eyes in the womb. Well, there's no eyes in consciousness either. Or
Yeah.
where we were, I don't think that I had eyes, so that's interesting. And also the in utero part really fascinates me because it's something I didn't think about. And several people that have pre-birth experiences also have that experience. And since then, I've been thinking about it. Nirvana's CD in utero makes me think
Yeah.
he might have them. There's some other really famous people out there that have them too, that have talked about it. So we're going to try to figure that out as well. And that this really excites me because it's an experience I don't have that other people that have pre-birth experiences have. So it's really interests me. That's something I'm going to be looking into. So I'm really glad that you're one of the first people that have shared that have that, because there's going to be other people out there too that are going to be able to relate. So it's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of think that like that's one of the ways. Like, I bet there's probably a lot of like, situations and circumstances that allow us to tap in to that. But I do think that is maybe one of the ways, for some reason or other. For me, I think it had to do with my adoption a little bit. But where we tap into our in utero experience, and that is kind of like it's kind of like a gateway, or it's something that helps us to remember and to hold on to an experience that a lot of people forget. Just like a
Yeah.
lot of our childhood experience, we there's so much that we don't remember. But there's these reasons why we remember certain things, and I think that that is one of the, I feel like one of the possibilities, or one of the ways that it comes through, probably.
Yes. Yes. I think that we all can remember, or that we all chose to forget, which is why I called it being before the veil, before we accepted that veil of forgiveness. So I think all of us can have pre-birth experiences. I don't think me and you are any special than anyone else in any regard here. So
Yeah, like
if
we
I
all,
have them, yeah,
like
yeah,
we literally all have a pre-birth experience. It's
yes,
just that the certain situation and circumstances have allowed us to remember those things for some reason, right?
yes, yeah. Another thing that is really interesting that someone asked me about, do you think you chose your parents? And if so, it's really interesting because you were adopted. Could you speak on that a little bit? Because I had someone ask me last night, actually, why would I choose my parents, which my dad abandoned me, and I didn't really have a great answer for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot like the question, why would you choose to go through the challenging things you've gone through, even, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and what I can say from my experience is that, I literally saw, it was like, I know in that moment that I saw everything. It wasn't
Yeah.
even like partial. It wasn't like, I know yours, you had like, where it was like there was probabilities and there was possibilities. For me, it was like, it felt more like I saw every single thing that happened, but from that perspective that I was in, which was that connected to that, like that infinite thing, seeing things from all the different angles, from all the different perspectives, and all the different people's perspectives and thing. I feel like, um,
I
I,
agree with you that I think that we do see it all, and then it's just more of a free will when we get here, kind of thing.
yeah. I mean, honestly,
But
for me, I like that's part of where it goes back to the thing where it's like I think it's all a little different. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I know that for you it was like the free will, and for me it was almost like the free will was me choosing it in the moment, and through that it's like I do have free will in this moment, and yet I don't think that there's anything in my life. I feel like this moment. I feel like I saw this exact moment, and it could never have been any other way
interesting.
for me, from my experience, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Uh, um,
So, do you
and
think there's predestiny?
I think it's a paradox, dude. I think that there
Okay.
is free will and that there is destiny, and fate, kind of thing. I think that the reason why it doesn't make logical sense. So it's hard for us to grasp it because I think our brains don't work that way. Like we want things to, we want like 2 + 2 to equal 4, and of course that's true, right? But on this level of these things we're talking about, it's like 2 + 2 could equal 4, and it could equal infinity at the same time or
Right.
something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like,
I go. Yeah. 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 That's interesting. The way to think about it. Yeah. Wonder there could be a little both if you chose that on the other side, maybe.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah, exactly. That's why I think, I think that our experiences are different the way we understand it, but I think that it's truth, right? Just like everybody
Yeah.
who's rebirth experience, some people could be like, like I've had a situate or an experience that was very different from either of your experiences. And yet that will have just as much truth as ours do, right?
Yeah. Yes.
um
Yes. Yeah. Connecting all those differences and those synchronicities and connections is really interesting to me. I love hearing those differences in our experiences, and then tying them together with other people's is really cool when I see that. And the in utero thing is an amazing example of that for me. Um,
yeah,
Yeah. So do you remember, do you think we were communicating telepathically on the other side or wherever we were at?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, telepathically. And I think it might have even been something else, even something, you know, deeper than telepathically. Like, on some level, it's almost like I was saying, like I have that memory of where I was with this being and I was this being and this being was me, you know. And so I think telepathically resonates more.
It's just freezing. My buddy Dan's freezing for a second. Y'all just give it a 1 second, or he'll be right back.
Okay, I think I
There he
froze,
is.
right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
froze up. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's like telepathically like is more to me what happened than like if we were sitting there talking. But I think it was almost like this thing of like we were both part of the same being and understanding, you know, understanding the same thing, understanding like this thing in ourselves or something. I don't know. It's
So
hard to
you
explain, but
feel like we're one on that side. We're all connected.
yeah, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think also it's almost another one of those paradoxes where there
Right.
is like individuality and yet there is like that complete oneness, you know?
Yeah. 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 It's one thing I think too that I would pick up from my pre-birth experiences. Anything on that side that we communicate instantly manifests. So all that stuff we were communicating, we were seeing it immediately, and it is hard to comprehend that here. You know?
Yeah, it's like it's part of this reality. Like yeah, there's like a deeper level of communication. I think we can
So,
definitely say that, you know.
yeah.
There's more
So
direct.
let me ask you this. I think you already answered this, but did you choose to take this journey or were you made to come to it? And the reason I ask is there are some people out there that think they were forced to take this life journey. And I just want to know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, not to discount anybody's experience because I think, like we all do have different,
Definitely.
but I think that we always choose to, because like what it felt like to me was like I really wanted to, and it was even like me as part of this larger thing. It was like being excited to, you know, like I wanted to, and I was like, it wasn't even like a question of was I going to or was I not going to. It was
Yeah.
it was more of like it was just like this experience, and as I saw this life, I saw the truth of it. I saw how necessary it was for, I think, for like a larger evolution, like for, I think we're all part of this thing, this larger thing that's kind of evolving, that's infinitely, becoming.
Yeah. I had that same kind of experience too. When I was going through that process, it was like I was already in it. I was already, and I could feel I was in that motion. It wasn't someone pushing me. I was moving in that way, and because I wanted to, is the way I felt it. Um, do you? How many people do you think remember or have pre-birth experiences? And I know we already said that everyone has them, but how many people do you think remember today?
I mean, honestly, I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Would you
I do
say
think,
hundreds of thousands or millions, billions, if you had to guess?
I mean, I'd probably guess millions. I bet there's
Billions?
millions. I bet there's at least, I mean, there's at least a million people out there. I'm sure
Me
there's
too.
billions of people on the earth. That's quite a few
Uh-huh.
million, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
AI, I actually asked AI this question and it said 1.6 billion people
wow.
are
Yeah.
currently in the world with
Right.
pre-birth experience. Yeah, which
You
wouldn't
know, a
surprise
lot
me
of
because
times too, it's you know, I gotta say, I didn't focus in on it. I feel like it's something that I always remembered. It's something that I didn't even realize that like other people didn't remember, you know. But
yes,
I never really focused on it when I was
that's a
much younger.
great
I just took it as like it's just part of, you know, it's part of it.
yes. So you've always had these memories since a child too.
Yeah, yeah. But I honestly, it's kind of one of those things where I didn't focus in on it very much. I just like I knew it, but it was just a memory, you know.
And no one talks about it, so it gets sort of programmed out of us in ways. You know,
Yeah,
you don't talk about it. No one talks about it. I fear talking about it because of that. So then you're learning this human body, you're learning how to live in it and all that. And then you're getting programmed on top of that. And, you know, it just buries it down. So let's say
yeah.
everyone might remember at the beginning, but then it's so much other powerful stuff coming in that it's just down there so deep.
You know, I mean, for some reason it feels right to me to say that I do think that let's say in utero, and let's say as maybe a baby, right? That I almost want to say that I feel like maybe everybody remembers at that point, you know. And that's maybe that's part of what's important about these things coming up to the surface more through us talking about it and stuff like that, is you know, helping it become something that's more normalized, where it's not something that, you know, I mean, maybe it's, who knows, maybe in the future, like parents, when their kids learn to talk, they'll have conversations about it, you know. I mean, who knows.
Yes.
um
That is awesome. And the project's definitely helping with that. And us talking about it, anybody talking about it, making videos about it, we're basically putting it in the zeitgeist, right? We're growing that, making it okay to talk about and for people not to fear about, which is awesome. And one thing I'm working on with the project is growing the website. We're going to be gathering more data and information and providing more metrics and data and information to the people. And it's all going to be doing that automatically. And I'm going to set it up to where after I die, it's still running. And another thing I was going to do is everyone that shares, I'm going to get it etched in the crystal that lasts forever. So if we incarnate thousands of years down the road, it's still here where the servers aren't going to be.
nice.
So I got some big plans to grow this thing and keep it going so we can come back and try to connect,
Yeah,
or
you
so
know,
other people can really use it while we're
yeah.
gone. We're going to be long gone, or we'll
I mean,
already
it
be
feels like
back
a
and don't
beginning.
remember.
It feels like a
Yeah.
beginning, you know, towards opening this up. You know, one thing I wanted to ask you, Bruce, or I wanted to bring up.
Oh, you just froze up for a second. But yeah, so everyone, while we're waiting on Dan, beingbeforetheveil.com is where we catalog our pre-birth experiences. So if you have them, definitely please go share, and also support us by going and reading other people's experiences, and contact me if you want to get involved with this project. This project isn't just mine. This project is anyone's that participates in it. So if this is something you're passionate about, or if you have pre-birth experiences, definitely get in touch with me. We're just waiting for Dan. He just froze up. Can you hear me, buddy? It's raining. Oh, he got knocked off. Well, it's all right, y'all. That was an amazing interview with Dan. Thank you for coming with us. Thank you for joining with us today. We're going to continually be making these podcasts. I have another interview later today, and we're going to interview everyone that has shared. And we're going to continually interview people as they share, at least the ones that are that want to. So if you have pre-birth experiences, beingbeforetheveil.com, definitely share, and I'll be reaching out to you. Love y'all. Have an amazing day. Bye.
Hey,
Oh,
okay, we're
there he
back.
is. Never mind, he's back. There
Hey,
he
well, I mean, you
is.
could probably edit. You could probably edit this too a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I'll edit it. Yeah, I went through and just did the whole. Yeah, it's in work. And even if not, you know what? This is our first interview. It's okay.
Hey, yeah, for sure, it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. If
For
people can't hold on for
honestly,
a
like,
couple of seconds, oh well. Hey, see, glitched again. It's all good.
okay, yeah,
There he is.
it happens. I live in the middle of the mountains, like we don't even have cell service.
Yeah, I know. It's the year out there. It's beautiful. I can't wait to come out and check out your place. And my girl's so excited because she's an artist, and always
Oh,
telling her
nice,
about
nice.
your stuff. Yeah, so she wants to pick your brain and talk to you for a while.
Hey,
And
yeah,
make some art. Yeah.
so like just to jump back real quick, the only other thing that I really felt was like that that I wanted to say that felt important to me, is that this kind of happens synchronistically, right? I think we remember because it's part of our story in a way. Um, just like you, I know through your experience, you remembering this has helped you to deal with some challenging things. It's like because you remembered, you were able to see things in it from a different perspective, right? And so even though, and this is kind of one of the aspects that's slightly different with us, but for me, it's like having that memory, especially the last few years, like just reminding myself of this, that I saw this life and I chose this life. I chose all the beautiful things and I chose, like all the challenges, like I saw it and I was like, yes, I accept it. This needs to happen, right? Um, and I mean, I think we've talked about it, but I've had the last 4 years have been super challenging with having like having some people kind of like kind of against me in these ways and like threatening me and like all this kind of like really intense stuff, and yet like one of the turning points was me being like, wait, like I have these pre-birth experiences. I remember choosing this life, like I saw all this stuff, so it's like, what do I have to fear? What do I have to fear?
Yes.
It's like no matter what happens, like I chose this, and I saw the truth and the reality and the beauty behind this. So in some way, it's actually, and I never really connected in with this previously. Even though I had the memories, I didn't. It didn't come together like it has recently for me, where it's like, okay, okay, I accept it. I accept it. I don't remember everything. I don't see exactly how things are going to happen, but I know that I chose it, and I was like, there was a purpose and a reason. It was necessary in this reality,
It's
you
such
know?
a good tool to use for fear. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is. That's I think the one of the most amazing parts about it. And you know what? Even with people's differences in, did we choose it? Is it free will? We're choosing it right now. So remembering that we chose that in either way, we choose right now what we're gonna do. So that's awesome, powerful stuff. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is.
It's
It's amazing, and that's really why I want to get it out to everyone, because if I can do it and I can use it, anyone can. And just like you, and that fear really, I think, is everything bad in this world. If we can all get over our own fears, this experience is going to be so much more loving and so much different and better. And it's
yeah.
not about changing the world, it's about changing our own. So, and I really think it does come down to that fear. So that's awesome that you said that.
Yeah, it's like confronting those things and bringing it up to our awareness. It's an interesting idea that I just was thinking was, I wonder, people that don't remember, we all have, I totally believe we all have pre-birth experience, but people that don't remember their pre-birth experience, I wonder what would happen under hypnosis
Yes, yeah.
to bring these
There's
things up,
there's so much research, and that we could be doing that. So that's another thing. If anyone out there has pre-birth experiences. I know when I first started my project, I was like scared that someone was going to get upset because they were talking about it or doing it. Don't ever feel like that. If you have any of these experiences or you're just interested in it, start running with it, start researching it, you know, contact me. You can be a part of this project. Anyone that participates or wants to be a part of it, it's not my project, it's our project, it's the world's project. So please feel free to run and do your own or come be a part of ours, you know? Yeah, we'll all connect and figure it out. Yeah,
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it.
we're doing it, man. Thank you so much for coming on here and being my first Being Before the Veil Studios interview. It's been
Thank you,
amazing. Do you
brother. I
have,
feel honored, man.
thank you, brother. I love you, man. Do you have anything you want to leave off with? Um, Everyone definitely should go check out Dan Lucas Art on TikTok. Follow him on there. Amazing stuff. I love going on to his lives. I've been doing it for a year and a half now, and I found family and friends there, and has helped me so much along my spiritual journey. So I'll always be grateful for that, and I'll always be grateful for our friendship.
Likewise, my friend. Likewise, brother.
Yeah, I
Always,
love you, brother.
always grateful. I love you too,
Yeah.
man.
Have a great day,
Hey,
bro.
yeah, you too.
Later.
All right. Hey.